Welcome to our monthly aura reading for March, our monthly medicine. Go ahead and just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And just tune into a sense of gratitude for the excitement in that feeling of forward motion of this time. The beginning of the release of stagnation, winter, feeling warmth and hope and potential flowing through every part of our being. And the colors I'm seeing coming through as we're connecting to this energy is a beautiful green and magenta color, like a watermelon tourmaline crystal. And it is the connection to green being compassion, nurturing energy, like a very steady love, like the way that the earth loves us. And then the magenta color is new love, newfound love in life. I also think about how green and magenta are almost on opposite sides of the color wheel. And then there's something very complementary about the two colors working together, which makes the theme of this month sacred union. Sacred union. Look, relationships are hard. Let's just face it. Like, I think that if, somebody is portraying that they have some kind of perfect relationship with their partner or, even with themselves, a lot of times that isn't really everything that's happening behind the curtain. You can love someone so deeply and have a really challenging relationship with them. A lot of people have this with their parents, for example. And also our relationship with ourselves can be really hard, As we work with learning to love ourselves, it's a process because you have to see and really be honest with yourself about all the ways in which you are not loving yourself. So it's challenging and it takes work and it takes time and it takes a willingness to grow and to heal and to see and embrace our shadow sides. Now, we think about this idea of like Christ consciousness or awakening or enlightenment, self-realization. It's all about having a unification of the energies within ourselves, our spiritual and material energies, our masculine and feminine energies. And this is a sacred union because through creating a sense of balance between the two energies, we're truly able to see reality as it is rather than exist within the illusions connected to the stories that we tell ourselves from our past and the things that we believe from our conditioning. When we find that way of unifying our masculine and feminine energies, we then can see reality as it truly is. So sacred union is about coming outside of the illusion. And it's a very similar thing, when we think about sexuality as a sacred way of connecting to the divine. And, in those moments of sexuality, when it's really like that feeling of hieros gamos and that deep connection with the other, you can experience these moments of clarity and purity and this connection to all of existence. Or when we meditate and we work on really getting ourselves in balance with our inner world and outer world, with ourselves in relation to all of creation, there's a sense of awareness that comes with it. And this sacred union, it's very exciting, because from that sacred union, that's how things are conceived, really brilliant ideas. That's how our dreams are brought into reality. So when we think about this idea of unity, it is the sacred union of our inner and outer world. It is the sacred union of ourself with the other. It is the unification of our spiritual and material beings, because here we are, these spiritual beings having a material existence, and that's a very purposeful thing. And it's also about moving from that place of balance and harmony. Do the things that I do, what I act on, what I say, does it line up also with what I believe? Does it line up with what feels spiritually true for me or not? Am I willing to really look within and really look at the shadow stuff that I carry in order to create more of a sense of balance and harmony with my relationships, in order to create more of a sense of balance and harmony with my partner? Am I really ready to look within and do that inner work on myself? And I think it takes like a lot of courage actually to come into that work on creating that sense of balance within ourselves. And also when we create that sense of balance within ourselves, we also create it in the world around us. The healing work we do on ourselves absolutely creates a ripple effect out into the world, because there's no difference between healing and being healed. And every time you work on strengthening and creating a softness and flexibility around your divine masculine and your divine feminine, or even just your masculine and feminine within you, then you're one more person creating that vibration out there in the world. Our feminine is our ability to receive. It's our embrace of mystery. And there's so much to say about it. But it's really, think about it in a way of things not needing to always take form. Our feminine is our formlessness. Our masculine is our form. It's our more like material existence. It's our truth, like the things that we know deeply inside of us. And it's the angles and the perspectives that we have on life. That's our masculine. And ideally, we have the masculine sort of being the earth for the feminine's water. Like the river, the masculine is the bed of the river, for example. And the two working together in harmony it's so needed, and it's so necessary. And it's not about, us working to remember the divine feminine and awaken the divine feminine to overpower the masculine. It's more about remember the divine feminine, embrace the ways of mystery, embrace nature, embrace the earth, embrace her creatures. And that way we can create a sense of harmony within the masculine and feminine energies in the world. For a very long time, the masculine has dominated the feminine, and the feminine has been completely wiped out in so many ways. And we see this in the complete abuse of nature and the silencing of women. But that is meant to change. That is meant to evolve. And it doesn't mean that the feminine is going to start going after the masculine. Like, there doesn't need to be this sense of revenge or retribution. Actually, that revenge energy or retribution energy is a little bit in the shadows of both masculine and feminine energies. So it's not about revenge. It's also not about righteousness or less than or better than. It's more about, by empowering our divine feminine, we also empower our divine masculine, and we create more of a sense of health and well-being in the world. And from that place of health and well-being and wholeness, wholeness. When we think about wellness, it's a derivative of the word whole, to be whole, right? So we call in both parts of us, all the different parts of us, the shadow and the light of us, the masculine, the feminine of us. We call it all in and learn from ourselves, learn from our past mistakes, embrace who we are, and then have a much clearer outlook on the world. So sacred union in ourselves, sacred union in the world, even though like relationships are hard. And I think relationships are so hard because relationships are a great teacher. This is how we learn. Love is the great teacher, right? And we fall in love, and we might have this sort of like fairy tale expectation around what that love will be, and then it really hits us and it teaches us and it slays us and it brings us so much pain. But if we have healthy boundaries in place and we know what feels okay for us and what feels like there's a point where relationships get too hard, if you know what I mean. But if we just embrace that, a lot of the times when we're challenged in our relationship or we're challenged in love, this is sort of like divinity asking us to grow and to come more and more into that place of sacred union within ourselves and also with each other. I have a poem also I want to read you that I feel like ties into all of this. This is called The Company of Lovers, I believe by Hafiz. The rule that covers everything is, how you are with others, expect that back. If you want to know God, enjoy the company of lovers. If you want to be thought a great person, learn some subtle point and say it with as many variations as the answer to every question. If you want to live your soul, find a friend and stay near. Also this month we have a new moon in Pisces, a full moon in Virgo, and we have the spring equinox coming up, which is just such a time of excitement and rebirth and that feeling of the earth and sky, the sun and the earth uniting to wake up all the little plants and animals. And I think that this connects us to this feeling of really true beauty. And so I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you have a really beautiful month, and I hope to see you soon.